Concluded by 10 p.m. Pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. How's Nikki doing on?
She's very around.
Happy Father's Day.
So Lazarus.
Are they on or no?
Yeah, we're on.
Lazarus,
He's on mute. There you go.
Mr. Shapiro,
Here.
Councilwoman Marsh,
Here.
Mr. Panzo,
Here.
Mr. Scherer,
Here.
Mr. Freeberg,
Here.
Vice Chairman Devon,
Here.
Mr. Kaufman,
Here.
Chairman Bonjani.
Here. First item on the agenda is the minutes from May 12th. You can get a motion from someone. Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone here that's
Rob.
right? I can't vote. Right. And then we have the resolution for 199 Chestnut Ridge. Any concerns on that? Karen, we're all good with that?
No, I'm okay with somebody else.
Right. And the applicant didn't have any changes or anything, was okay with it, right?
I don't know.
Okay. Roll call.
Mr. Shapiro,
Aye.
Councilwoman Marsh,
Yes.
Mr. Panzo, Mr. Scherer,
Yes.
Mr. Kaufman,
Yes.
Chairman Bonjani.
Yes. All right, and then back on our agenda tonight is 300 Chestnut Ridge Road, RW Urban Renewal. So.
That some landscaping changes have been made, and I'd like Mr. Carmen to come up and. You know, I don't know if we could put them up on the screen or not, or we have a.
I think we can plug in.
That'd be great.
I don't know if we need to hear his credentials again, but if we could just swear him in.
Certain.
Do you swear the testimony you're about to give this board is the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
It is.
Could you state your name for the record, please?
Sure. My name is Thomas S. Carman, Carman. I'm with the firm Malillo Bauer Carman. We're located 200 Union Ave down in Brielle. I did have the pleasure of appearing before the board back in November and then in December as well when the project was approved.
Okay. What your profession?
I'm a landscape architect. I'm a licensed landscape architect. Yeah,
License?
degree is license is in good
It's
standing.
still good. Great.
Yes.
I'm gonna ask the board to accept this witness as an expert in landscape architecture.
Will do.
Thank you. Just bear with me one moment.
Technical difficulties?
No, here we go.
You could try it. We should have it back up in like a minute or two, but
He's gonna present. I believe that is. We don't know.
I have one for those.
Full size or?
Yep, well. 11 by 18.
Yep. You have some packages here. That would be perfect, yeah. We have a backup. Yeah, we have that, yeah. Somebody came prepared today.
There we go.
Oh, but
That's it.
So what's being passed out right here is a 10-page exhibit package that I will walk you through.
I think we got. Give one quick one. Give one.
Oh, now we're up on the screen. Perfect. So, yes, as mentioned, back in May, site work commenced and some tree removal was happening from the intersection of Chestnut Ridge and Glen moving southward. And site contractors removed more trees than what they were supposed to. The trees that were removed happened to be within the area as shown on this first exhibit, which is the overall berm plan in front of the townhome berm area. We've broken this exhibit up into 3 sections: retail zone on the left, townhome, and then multifamily berm. And what we have here, just so we can kind of easily walk through it, the upper plan is the plan that was presented back in December. That's the approved plan, highlighted with a light blue. And then the plan directly below it is the proposed, so essentially the amended plan in order to compensate for the trees, the 14 trees that we had removed.
We have a list of those trees that were removed, or?
We
know
do.
It is 14.
I do have a list of it. I'll walk you through the 3 enlargement plans and kind of give you a sense of the changes that have been made, including that. But first, let's focus on this overall tree summary. And so what you see, what was previously approved was a total of 210 trees on the berm. That included 43 existing trees that were to remain. As the summary in green shows, we are now proposing 257 trees, and that includes 32 trees that will be saved. So if we do the math where we're subtracting 14 from 43, there are some additional trees that I will explain that we are able to save. So I'll kind of just walk through the whole thing, and then I will share at the end, Mr. Chairman, the calculations related to the 14 trees that were removed. If you recall, the redevelopment plan kind of supersedes the tree replacement ordinance, as that we're not necessarily bound to it, but we utilized it within this berm area to generate the 167 trees that we originally proposed. That was just based on doing the calculations. Again, I'll show that as kind of the last image. And we utilized those calculations again with these trees that have been removed. So jumping to the first zone, this is the retail zone, corner of Chestnut Ridge and Glen. Minor changes of what happened here. We made some species revisions based on communication after the planning board with the Shade Tree Commission. And that's all been, worked out well. And we've also added 4 shade trees at the intersection. So 3 trees going down Glen Road, and then 1 at the intersection as well. Those are street trees. So ultimately, total trees that was previously proposed is 51, as shown in the blue. We are now proposing 54. I'm also at the end going to show how we increase the size of a variety of trees to also compensate for those that were lost. So now let's move to the next sheet, which is at the townhome. So this is where those 14 trees were removed. So again, on the top of the plan, that's the plan that was presented back in December. And you can see the 14 red X's, and those are the trees that were originally proposed to be saved that were mistakenly removed. So within this zone itself, you can see that we were originally proposing 56 trees. 14 out of that 56 were remaining. We are now proposing within this area 87 trees. So we are significantly adding to the proposed trees to compensate for those that were lost. And we give that breakdown from shade trees. We originally had 15. We are now proposing 23. Evergreens, we went from 13 and significantly increased that to 36. Ornamentals went from 16 up to 28 in total. While I'm on this sheet, I will also point out the detention basin. During the original hearing, you heard testimony from the civil engineer about a below-grade detention basin that was dashed in this exhibit right here. You can see how we have a light dash. Based on additional engineering, soil perk tests, compliance with NJDEP, we have now proposed an above-grade basin. And towards the end, I'll show you a section of that and how that differs from what was originally proposed. So now I will move to the multifamily area. So if you recall, at the second hearing, we came back and we provided site sections of this area. There were a few neighbors that were concerned, and we provided documentation about how the grading was adjusted in these areas. We're happy to say that as shown on the lower plan, the plan that has the highlights of green, we were able to, the civil engineer went back and studied the grading a bit further, and we're able to save 6 more existing trees. They kind of have a yellow halo on the left-hand side of the plan. So in this zone, we went from 103 proposed or trees total. That included 29 existing trees. Now we're at 116 proposed, including the existing. I would like to note, though, that there are, we found that there was one tree out there that is dead. It is this crabapple that exists over here. So that will be coming down. And then there are also 2 trees that are really in poor condition that we are proposing to remove. I'll show you a picture. This is the one existing spruce tree that we're proposing to remove. And then this one also that is also in poor condition. So jumping back to the overall plan, you will see that although we are proposing to save 6 more trees, if we look at the overall quantity, top line here, existing trees to remain were originally 29. We are now saving an additional 6, but we're removing 3. So it nets out that we are saving an additional 3 trees. At the end of the day, there are 13 more trees on the berm in front of the multifamily. Just a couple more slides. Jumping back over by the townhome zone. Here we did 2 site sections just to kind of best tell the story of what we are doing, and then you will also be able to understand the difference of the stormwater basin. So looking at the first site section, it is the one on the left-hand side. And this is located, we're almost across from where the other townhome community is across the street. So this is the site section. Again, we have previously approved up top, and then we have the amended down below. It includes, it starts at Chestnut Ridge Road and then carries through to where the 3-story townhomes are proposed. So there's a couple of things I'd just like to identify on here. So on the upper plan, you can see in a lighter color, that is the existing representation of the existing vegetation that's shown at approximately 35-40 feet above the existing berm. And then we show some of the vegetation that is proposed, that was originally proposed in front of them. Now, and you also see that the berm is roughly 5 foot above Chestnut Ridge Road. That's the existing berm as it was. So now the proposal is, as I mentioned, when we were looking at that plan, we were adding significant plant material. We are also increasing the size of the plant material. The largest shade tree that was proposed out there was a 4.5-inch caliper tree. We are now proposing over a dozen trees that are 5 to 6-inch caliper. So a very significant tree that when it comes time to installing it, it's gonna be about 22 to 25 foot tall, just at time of installation. We also are, being that those trees were removed, we were not able to modify the berm in any way. Since those trees have been removed, we are, or we will now increase that berm height by an additional 3 or 4 feet. So that will also allow us to place the trees higher on the berm and get some additional height out of them. So I think by increasing the size, increasing the quantity, increasing the size of both the berm as well as the height of the plant material, we have a strong plan to compensate for those trees that we had removed. Now, just jump back one sheet here. Now, the next section that I'm going to show is a section directly through the detention basin. So originally, there was a below grade detention basin that was roughly 60 foot wide by about 180 or 90 feet long. And it really limited the amount of plant material that we could put along that frontage. As indicated, and our civil engineer is here, should there be any technical questions related to the stormwater, but the stormwater design has evolved and additional perk tests have been done. And in full compliance with NJDEP, we are now doing what's called an above ground basin. So in doing so, it's excavated out. There are some retaining walls. There will be a fence along the edge for safety, but we are then able to plant within that basin and certainly on the sides of the basin. It's narrower. It's about 50 feet by about 160 feet in length. And it's what's referred to as a bioretention basin. So it is fully planted at the bottom as well as on the sides. So now let me just jump to kind of the map of the whole thing. So as I indicated, we utilized the borough's tree replacement ordinance to look at originally how many trees were taken down. Originally, again in blue, there were 91 trees. We do the math for like a 12 to 18 inch caliper size. You have to plant 2 for every 1. So we do all that math, and for 91 trees, we would be required to plant 167 trees, which we were doing. Now, as indicated, 14 trees were removed mistakenly. Then in front of the multifamily, we're able to save 6, but we're asking to remove 3 others that are in poor condition, or 1 is dead. And that nets out at a total of 105 trees that are removed. And again, we do that math and we come up with 189 trees we would be required to compensate for based on those calculations. We note +1. 2 of the 14 trees that were mistakenly removed were 5-inch caliber. The ordinance does not require you to do a replacement for a tree that is under 6 inches. It starts at 6 to 12 inches. But that was intended to be there, so we calculated it in. So it would require that we replant 191 trees. We're actually proposing 225 trees. So we've significantly increased the quantity. We've added a lot of additional evergreens. And we've also added some ornamental trees. Like we've looked at the existing, there were a decent amount of crab apples that are out there that kind of harken back to the orchards of years ago. So we have a good mix of variety in here that's proposed, and that is depicted on the last sheet. So the last sheet is an overall comparison. So starting Again, we're utilizing the blue, which is approved back in December, and then the green, what we are proposing right now. So there were 52 shade trees that were proposed then, we're proposing 67. And you'll see that there are like some dashes in the quantities, so what we are doing is we increased some sizes, like we could look at, there were some 4-inch caliper trees. We've increased some of those to a 5 to 6-inch caliper tree. Overall, we have about a dozen 5 to 6 caliper trees that we've added in to the design. And from an evergreen standpoint, we also, you'll see that there are like some dashes where we had Japanese cedar that was in discussions with the Shade Tree Commission. We had eliminated those back a while ago. But you'll see that the smallest tree that we originally had was 8 foot tall. The smallest we're now proposing is 10 foot tall, and the largest is 14 to 16, which we didn't even have any at that size. So we've added 18 of those. And then we did a similar thing for the ornamental trees, right? We upsized everything a bit. Just what was a minimum, we jumped up a little bit and focused on the larger material. So we acknowledge that we did make an error out there in terms of the removals. We feel like this is a good plan of action to move forward, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that I'm sure you may have.
Well, it's pretty straightforward. Certainly doing a lot more planting, and significantly larger trees, it sounds like.
We did.
So the height on the berm overall, if you could give us just a rough idea of what it was gonna be on new plantings versus what it will be now. You've got an extra 2 feet on the berm.
We have an extra 2 feet in the area that the 14 trees were removed.
Just in that area.
Just in that area, because the other areas we are
Still-
saving trees.
Understood.
And because of that, we can't increase the height of the berm.
And that's on the south side of the property in front of most of the residents?
That is on the south.
Family?
Yes, it's this is an exhibit that's not within your package right there, but the area where the 14 trees were taken down is within this red oval right here.
Okay. That's actually on the north side.
It is on the north side, yes. So it's on the side which is across from
Like the townhouse.
the townhome area,
Right.
just south of where the retail is.
And the retention basin, you have an engineer here or?
We
Yeah,
do.
I think our engineer Neglia already had reviewed this. So I think he said it complied. I don't think there's anything that we need to do with that.
Yes, he did review that. Neglia did review that as part of the resolution compliance.
And you're actually gonna plant in the basin.
We are.
Okay.
We're planting some trees within, so it's specialized planting that we're doing that allows during, it's not a wet basin that is wet all the time, meaning 24/7, there's not water in there. During a rain event, there will, depending upon the amount of rain, it will hold a little bit of water and then it will dissipate that water. So we have to pick material that can take those conditions.
What species of trees would you put in there that would sustain sitting in a pool of water?
There are trees like a red maple is actually a tree that does like wet feed and does grow along natively, does grow along like stream banks. River birch are another tree that we're proposing in there. So varieties like that do work very well. And then we're also doing some shrub material that does the same thing, as well as some perennial and like meadow kind of mix.
Okay.
So
Is it accessible for public or there's a driveway that I saw? Is that just for maintenance?
that's purely for maintenance, purely for maintenance. To get down
And
there.
it's fenced, so
It is.
Right.
It is.
is the entire site is, there's a lot of site work, obviously, that's gonna be going on here. And I understand there's different phases and different partners, for lack of a better word, within it. is all of the site work being done by the overall developer, or is it gonna be parceled off?
I don't know that either one of us can answer that question, but maybe Mr. Santos.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay,
but we're doing all the site work.
okay. I don't have any questions for, we have two, by Zoom, Nikki? Anything?
She's on mute.
Sorry, no, look, mistakes happen. We have really appreciate that you guys alerted us right away. And, you know, you've gone above and beyond to really make sure that the berm stays the way it looks is the way that you guys will have it, if not nicer. And so the town really does appreciate that. You know what, I did have one question. When we talk about, you guys raise the height of the berm, I know the trees that were removed and were taller than the trees that are being replaced. With the increased height of the berm, the trees that you're replacing, will the tree height be the same or will it be a little bit lower to start?
It will be a bit lower to start. The trees that were out there were some mature trees that were 35, 40 feet tall. The trees that we're proposing, the tallest one, that is like a 6-inch caliper tree would go in 23, 25 foot, as a really tall species of that. So, we
Okay.
are a bit lower. But the berm will help a bit, and overall, we're doing even some of the plant material that we were originally proposing is taller from the December approval, so
That's great. Thank you.
you're welcome, thank you.
Any other members of the board? Yeah.
Just a couple questions about the berm, not the berm, the basin, sorry. So, can you just explain a couple things for me? So, you have any risk of like mosquito breeding and things like that in that wetland? I'm gonna go wetland area because I have no idea what else to call it. So we, we have all the residents there. Do we have any issues you think to foresee with that being wet?
I don't believe so. This is, these are designed in like strict regulations with NJDEP. So I think that they provide guidance and orchestrate this with these items in mind.
So, and then I know there's a roadway you said for maintenance, so is there fire department access or rescue access? Somebody gets into the water, gets into that basin area, is there access for emergency personnel to get in there?
It would be through that gate, so I think that's a common practice, so I think we can coordinate with emergency services if have any special requirements related to gaining access to that.
Okay, and then just the height of the fence on either side, if you don't mind.
So the height of the fence would be 4 feet.
Okay, any other protection, just straight fence?
Yes,
4
yep,
feet?
and we're planting around it, so it isn't like an invited like lawn right up there to have somebody come up.
Okay,
We're planting around it, so it kind of naturalizes.
and on that Chestnut Ridge Road side, what's the drop from the height of the fence to the basin bottom?
The lowest part of the basin, I believe, is about 8 foot down.
Okay.
I think the deer will have fun in there.
What type of fence are you putting up?
Well, those are off my property.
It would be a 4 foot high, like tubular aluminum fence that would disappear into the, we do it as black, so it kind of just visually.
Yeah, so block, like the shadows won't cover it. They'll probably do plantings in front of it to kind of bury it. I think technically we got, go ahead, Nelson.
Well, and obviously we want to hear from Brian and his comments and from a landscape, and planning perspective. I mean, obviously, I've heard a lot of upset residents about this, so I just do want to put that out there, that there were a lot of people who were very, very unhappy because they were at the hearings, and then. So I do want to put that out there because.
Yeah, I think they were,
that's-
I think they were aware of the unhappy.
Now, I'm sure they're aware, but I think I just want to put that out there on the record because,
Yeah,
I've heard it, and as a member of the
We've all-
planning board, I think it's, we we should at least put them out there. that-
Yeah.
I think it was good of them to expedite getting this together as well. And I believe, they met with Fran and the mayor and council a few times on this, so. It sounds like they put a lot of effort in to try to expedite things, and from a time frame point of view, that's what we've also been asking, like. Now that we've got a little work going on over there, do we have any timelines of when this stuff starts to get put? It's at the end of the project when we're putting these plants back in, or are they gonna get pretty much like site control and then make that planting and then they'll go in and out through their regular access, or are they gonna leave it like a raw site until everything's built and then finish this?
I can't speak to the full logistics of that, but certainly
The
planting.
audience looks like they want to.
I think so.
We'll get him up here in a few minutes. Hang on.
But so that was number one. I just wanted to get that out there. And then as far as, and I think I'd rather ask, I'd had Fran speak to this, but you're bringing in more ornamentals, which I think is great. But that is such a important part of Woodcliff Lake, Chestnut Ridge. I would just kind of wanna, do you have kind of a rendering that's gonna show how these ornamentals look? I mean, obviously, the more Japanese flowering cherry trees or the apple trees, I mean, anything that's flowering, you want that Chestnut Ridge to look.
Agreed.
And so you're the landscape architect, so tell us
Agreed.
how gorgeous it's gonna look.
So that was all along, right, the character of Chestnut Ridge Road, the berm that's out there. That, extends beyond this property to the other BMW site. It's very nice, and that's what we are. That's the vision of what we need to maintain and recreate in this area. So like the section that I pulled back up here shows that we have some evergreen trees, and we utilize a variety of species as well as heights. So that way you get the look that everybody loves out there. There are a lot of different variety of trees that are mixed together. It's not just a wall of evergreen that create a buffer. We layer in those ornamental trees, which are in this rendering here, or in this section right here, flowering as the pink. Those specific ones are like a crabapple. So we have these various ornamental trees and shade trees mixed together to create that same diversity that's out there that we're looking to recreate.
And I would just suggest that maybe it could be even better than what's over on the BMW site, to have more Japanese cherry trees or more color than we'll see from over there. I don't know if that's something that.
We can, we have leaned in more to some of the native plants. We have used some crab apples, but we have used other like red bud and other native magnolia trees, as opposed to the like a Japanese cherry. But we can do some other cherry trees as well. So we're happy to do that.
Well,
We're happy.
I'm gonna defer to.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Fran,
I think
you
I'm
spent,
gonna defer to Fran.
you spent a little time on this with them?
Yes. So I just have a few questions and then we can talk about some of the things that came up. So can you just speak to the maintenance of the detention basin, what the requirements are in terms of, just want the board to understand that you're not just gonna put this in and, walk away, but that there's an actual requirement from NJDEP in terms of maintenance of that basin?
There's a whole maintenance manual that goes along with this, the design of this basin. That has been prepared. It has been, I believe, submitted to Neglia. It is in conformance with the NJDEP requirements for maintenance. The planting around it as well, like although we are looking to, and I use the word naturalize, we want to create this buffer. But it's not left to naturalize. It's a maintained landscape along Chestnut Ridge Road as it is today. So we're creating this buffer that's highly maintained.
And the maintenance will be with somebody from the borough on an annual basis. In other words, when you go out there and maintain it for the manual and the code, that the borough is involved with that process.
The borough gets that manual and is part of that.
Irrigation is the areas that you presented tonight, is that irrigated?
It is. It was always originally proposed to be irrigated and it continues to be proposed. The continuous berm along the frontage.
And then, so what's the time frame from installation to establishment? And I ask that because the question is, after establishment, will the borough have the opportunity to walk the site? And if there are any trees that have died during that establishment period, that the developer will commit to replacing those trees?
They certainly will. They certainly will. The applicant, the developer, we've worked with them on a number of other properties, projects. First class property. They wanted to look equally as well as everybody on the board, right? That's how they keep their building fully occupied.
So is it? I want to get specific because I would like it, on the record for it. Is after a 2-year period, is a 2-year period enough for establishment?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so at 2 years of installation, the borough can walk the site with the developer rep, and if there are any trees that are dead or dying, that they can identify them and be replaced.
I think that is fair. Yes.
Talked about the fence. You proposed the list of trees and the sizes of those trees. Those you're committed to installing those. I believe as a part of my conversation, I was told that those trees are tagged at nurseries.
They will be, some of them are, some of, not all of them, but we will be tagging all those trees.
Okay. And so
we are beginning to secure, the plant material, with this applicant. As a matter of course, we tag the plant material to ensure it's good quality.
and the height and the sizes that you've identified.
Correct.
And will there be a updated landscape planting plan that identifies which trees are going where specifically?
Yes, we will update the overall submission plans to follow this exhibit package.
Do you have any idea of the cost difference between what was approved and what was submitted and approved and what is now being amended and offered?
I did not.
I'm sure Mark is working on that.
Is it substantially, is it 10%, 20%? Is it like, is there a range that you could give? I want the board and the public to know that this wasn't a matter of you simply taking, mistakenly removing 14 trees and putting, 28 trees back, that there was
No.
a substantial cost difference between what you're proposing and what was originally approved. Is that a fair statement?
That is a fair statement. Yes, it is a significant increase in cost.
Could you allocate a percentage
I would say that maybe we're 15% higher than
than the original plan?
the original.
Well, is there, not for tonight, is there a way for you to provide that information to the borough just so that they're aware of it, the board's aware of the difference? It doesn't have to be down to the dollar, but
Sure.
but-
We can do that.
And then probably the most important piece from my perspective is when will the berms be replanted? So these trees were removed, the berms are gonna be regraded, that one berm is gonna be regraded. When will those berms that are on the plans that you just submitted to the board tonight, when will they be replanted? And is there a commitment to kind of doing that?
I actually have to defer to our client on this. I don't know the sequencing of that.
We're gonna get him up next, I think.
And were any members of the Shade Commission was this discussed with any members of the Shade Commission of what is being proposed?
It is consistent with what has previously been proposed in terms of varieties.
Okay.
I have not had conversations with the Shade Tree Commission since May when these trees were removed.
But the original conversations with Shade Tree, you removed certain trees that they didn't want to see, added other ones they wanted to see, and then you simply increased the sizes and added more of those types of trees.
That's correct. Yes, that's the first.
I think that's a terrific deal. Actually, one other thing, if you could just speak to the well, I'm just gonna say it in terms of color, variety. From spring through fall with the different varieties you provided, right? So there's the change in leaf color that occurs, there's flowering trees. Can you kind of talk to your overall design concept in terms of how you looked at this from a unique perspective of design from the plant material side of it, from say, what would be March through, October, November,
Sure.
and then the inclusion of the evergreens for the winter.
Sure.
That would be sure.
So when we design a berm like this, being that buffering is one of the main strategies, we actually work through and locate some evergreens first in plan view. And we have 3 different types of evergreens. We have American holly, which is a broadleaf evergreen, so that's got a different texture than the Norway spruce and eastern red cedar. Norway spruce, we're able to get additional height, higher than the holly, as well as taller than the cedar. The cedar gives a different color. So they all have a slightly different shade of green to them. And also their texture is a little different. So we layer in the evergreens first, then we work through and add shade trees. The shade trees, we've got a couple of different varieties. We have a red maple that gets bright red leaf in the fall. We also then have honey locust. Honey locusts have a very different leaf, a much smaller leaf, and has a yellow fall color. Sweet gum is another tree that we have that grows quite tall and has yellow to purple fall color. We also have pin oak and red oak, as well as willow oak. So these are trees that actually, in conjunction with the Shade Tree Commission, and within that frontage where you have a lot of room, doing oaks like that are a great addition. Those all have different leaves to them. A willow oak has a willow type leaf. It's a little bit different texture, but the habit of it looks like a pin oak in that the branches hang down a little bit. The red oak, much more stately, very large head to it, and that gets a red fall color. So we utilize those various deciduous trees, but then we also use the smaller scale trees. The river birch, as I indicated, we have them in the basin. They multi-trunk, so those have not just a single stem to them or trunk to them. They have typically 3 or more, and most people are familiar with that bark, that exfoliating bark that has like a whitish brown hue to it. And those are in the basin area and they grow relatively quickly. We also have some dogwood and redbud. So redbud is a tree that gets very small red flowers very early on. So one of the first things to flower in the spring. The dogwood also flower early in the spring, but a different color than the red, so that they play off of one another. And then magnolia that are a white flower. And then also we have the crab apples that come in a variety of colors. We also do have, as I'm looking at this, we have some Kwanzaa cherry trees as well. So those are flowering trees that come in a pink color that also provide a long flower. They come, all the ornamental trees have different shapes to them also. Like the magnolia is a much lower branch, whereas like the cherry tree a little bit higher branched. The river birch come up with those multi-trunks, so much more of an upright plant. So we utilize all these and we place them, and in plan, we then review it internal with our own team, and we're moving them around and we're looking at them and we're cutting that section and we're figuring out where they go and what plant is in front of the other, so we create that layered effect. Now, having said that, we also, at the time when all this is constructed, we go out while this is being installed, and we'll be moving some stuff, shifting it over a little bit from where it may exactly be on plan, so we make sure that we're achieving the goal that I think everybody wants on, us as well as everybody on the board to create this very lush landscape out there. So that's a general strategy on how we do it.
Get enough of that, Chairman?
Yeah, from trees that were either removed or not in good health. Any ash trees on the site in general that, we've seen dying all over town for the last couple of years?
Actually was one ash tree. It was one of the 14 that were removed.
Okay.
So I believe it was in decline, but I don't know that for certain, so.
Do we need to open the public if the public's not here or not? Just to open and close?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, the motion to open the public,
Motion.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Motion to close the public,
Motion.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
You have another witness out there?
Mr. Santos could provide some answers about the staging.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Not sure if Fran designed it, could have done better.
Thank you.
Thank you. Evening, everyone.
You swear that the testimony you're about to give this board is the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
And state your name for the record.
Diogo Santos.
Mr. Santos, you work for,
I do.
do you know when the trees are all gonna be planted in Burnham?
Yeah, I mean, we're doing a lot of site work now. We gotta get the utilities in. As you guys see, there's demolition going on. I think realistically, it would be the spring of 27 is the goal. Like, definitely not the last thing we do on the job. I think our goal is to get those trees and that berm planted as soon as we can.
It's obviously still gonna be a lot of site work internally.
Correct,
Right.
but we could at least protect that area up in the front, and I think that's always been the agreement, is that we try to stabilize as soon as we can. We protect the material. Obviously, they're big trees, so we have to be sensitive to them. But I think it would definitely be in the first planting season of 27.
So you think spring of 27, you'll be able to start to get plants on that berm?
Correct.
Okay. I don't think it's delayed the project at all.
The only thing I'll say is our owner probably will take some of these like 3 to 4 inch caliber trees that we have and most likely upsize them. So I think that's a good thing.
Right.
It's letting you know the plan might change again, but in a good way. But he drives by every single day, and I think he's probably more distraught, about this than, or as distraught about this as we all are. So.
Right. I think that was most of our concern from a logistics point of view. From an overall construction site, I think they had talked about like it's a 3-year project, you think, right?
Yeah, I would say so. 3 years. I mean, we're gonna tackle the site work for the townhomes. We're doing that now.
Right.
Demolition starting. We have the multifamily building under design. And I think the goal is like getting through resolution compliance, maybe submitting for building permits in the next like month or so. And once the site work kind of gets done, we want to start tackling the multifamily building right away.
So from a perimeter point of view, if the berm is up and planted in the spring, you'll have evergreens up through the fall of 27, and you'll still be under construction for another 2 years.
Right.
Okay.
I got a question. Once you establish the berm and these trees in the spring, into the summer season, whatever, let's say another couple of months in, would you move the perimeter fencing back? And let's say have that berm become.
Give a nice
part of
clean look to the perimeter, at least on Chestnut Ridge.
Yeah, I mean, that's the goal, is like. we
The
would
grading is done.
protect it, the grading's done, we'll stabilize, seed everything, and then that we would, move our fencing inward, right?
So the public will see this
Correct.
vegetation and.
Correct. And then obviously we would have like the anti-tracking pads, coming in and out of the driveways for construction vehicle access, but that would be the goal, is that we kind of buffer the construction zone from the start, or as soon as we possibly can. And that, you guys kind of see more of what you used to see than like a construction site for the next 3 years.
Brandon, that was the same question that you had, right, timing wise.
And so as far as the maintenance, the maintenance period is gonna be after the whole project is complete?
So I think my,
Talking about the
That's what-
basement?
yeah,
No, for the,
But I'd say my understanding would be is 2 years from, I believe the redevelopment plan is 2 years from planting, so if the berms are planted in the spring of 2027. I would say that the town should go back out no earlier, later than 2029. And obviously, if there are plants that are dying in between that.
I mean, most likely the applicant will be on his landscaper if there's plants dying. because,
Yeah, I honestly, the 2 year, we obviously agreed to it, but. If there are, 4 years, 5 years, there's trees that are dead there.
How,
that would be great.
how long has the print house been built?
I'll say about like four
Yeah.
years.
Like, so if, I mean, if anybody's aware of the print house in Hackensack, that building's been built 4 years ago, the landscaping looks like it was put in last week. It's still immaculate, but. It's always about protecting the municipality and the borough, right? So. We know that, I know that Russo does a wonderful job, and I know that you're gonna change those plants if they're dying before anybody actually tells you to. But it's more just making sure that that's on the record for, would be mine.
So what's on?
That they have a requirement of 2 years. That the borough will walk the site with them, if any plants are dead at that point, they would be replaced in kind. Agreed.
No further questions from us? Rob, you got anything?
I'm just, maybe this is off the record, off topic, but what went
You're on
wrong?
the record.
I know.
Maybe you shouldn't say it.
Okay, what went wrong, in my opinion, with the landscaping, with the development over the railroad tracks directly when you're going over the railroad tracks? That landscaping is, in my opinion, pretty weak.
We're talking about another site.
Yes.
We're talking about Broadway.
Mhm.
Are we talking about 188 Broadway? Not sure it wasn't.
I know, just,
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, maybe we should stick the shade tree.
What's that?
Talk to somebody on the shade tree and have them go after.
But this,
I prefaced it properly.
Yeah.
but this was not submitted to the shade. Commission.
The revisions, no, but I think he testified that the.
No, I heard.
Yeah.
it.
You can, I mean, I think what we planted is in sort of the same framework as like commenting on.
It is, it's all consistent with what I had discussions with the Shade Tree Commission.
I do think
They haven't requested seeing it before.
it would be a good gesture, I think, to submit it to the commission and at least have a conversation with them. It sounds like because you've had those meetings with them prior, that they provided that input, but I still think it represents a good gesture to reach back out to them and send the update.
We will do that.
Any further questions for the witness? We gotta do the cycle for the open and close again for the public, even though there's no public.
I guess I do have one question,
Well,
because I just know what the public is talking about. And the trees that are there that have not been mistakenly removed, how do we protect that?
So-
they're well aware. of
Yeah,
that.
I mean, what we.
Don't come back.
No, believe me, I will say this, our contractor, tree removal contractor, very experienced, does a lot of work for us. We gave him the plan. Shame on us, we should have like walked and tagged the trees that were to remain. And we are doing that from now on.
Okay,
We're
and
going
you
to
are-
tag them
You are tagging it.
and that way they know which ones are to remain.
Okay, so I just want that on the record too. That
So
what,
that's the plan, like
Going
we will
down?
not, like there's
Going
one
down?
person on our team, construction team dedicated to this and yeah.
We don't have to put a value on it.
Oh my God, yeah. If we came back, I would.
and I only say that for the,
No, I hear you.
for the
Listen, we're
record,
embarrassed.
that They
We're-
don't want, if we
Yeah.
say yes, I don't want someone saying to
Agreed,
me, well, what about?
yeah,
And so those are. being
yeah,
tagged.
that
It's
will
gonna
be the
removed.
control that is in place.
Motion to open to the public. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to close to the public. Second.
All in favor? Thank you very much for your testimony.
Thank you.
You want to leave these?
I'm not gonna take it home with me, no, I'm good,
I think it's a special place for them.
I'm assuming you have no other witnesses, and, I think,
No, I mean, we have an engineer if you want to ask questions, but I don't think it's really
I
necessary.
don't think it's necessary, I think our engineer, I mean, the only question was on the basin, and our engineer already signed off on. I don't know if there's any further testimony.
No.
Okay.
Good, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Before that, we have to vote on this, so. What?
Just
I think-
procedurally, I don't think that you do.
You don't, okay.
And I don't think that you need a resolution. This is an information.
Informational. stuff.
Informational.
Okay.
Work, come on.
Yeah.
I
Always a resolution.
I think we'll find, just bill the escrow for the meeting and.
All right, we appreciate your time, thank you, then I guess we can get a motion to close.
I'll make a motion, but I just want to say one thing, because I agree. This is nothing to do with this, but I agree with what Rob said about
188?
188. And the other thing is, just to waste some time for a minute, they just redid the sidewalk, planted the trees.
Thank you guys very much.
Planted the trees on the sidewalk, and it's a brick sidewalk, and brick pavers, when those roots grow, those brick pavers are gonna be torn to shit.
I mean, that's a part of the design, no, they're putting those trees in there. Yeah,
I think the whole.
I thought so too, that's what we did. Yeah,
The coloring.
I mean, I would say that's to approve the modified plan, right?
Yes, I would suggest that you vote on it, I think it's,
On this.
yes.
On the modified plan, or the amended plan.
What they
The amended,
submitted, it's
which,
more trees, net benefit.
And if you vote no, we should go get them.
right?
Yes.
I mean, to say we don't need to have, I was like,
I mean, because technically I don't know, I'm not a lawyer, so I would defer to,
I would say generally yes. Oh,
So then let's recommend, yeah.
Is there any motion to approve?
Motion to approve the modified plan.
no, wait, I'll read that. Back in.
We didn't adjourn.
No, we never adjourned.
So,
And it's called the Chestnut Ridge Road Berm Planting. As submitted. We got one motion,
You got
we have a second,
Sanjeev.
Sanjeev second, roll call.
Mr. Lazarowitz,
Some of the agreements.
Yeah.
that they made on the record.
Aye.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mr.
numbers
Shapiro?
in there.
Yeah.
Councilwoman Marsh,
Yes.
Mr. Panza,
Yes.
Mr. Scherer,
Yes.
Mr. Freeburg,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Dewan,
Yes.
Mr. Kaufman,
Yes.
Chairman Bonjamini.
Yes.
Approved.
I would also suggest that it be put in a resolution with the comments.
With the
that were-
comments, that's what I just told them,
This-
especially with the no
We
for,
want it in, right,
Tagging.
because 2 years from now, we don't know.
Yeah.
yeah, who's
Yep.
there.
By the way,
In the minutes, we'll put in the
the
resolution.
access that we talked about to the gate or whatever, seasons or whatever it's called. We talked about Knox box access,
Right?
remember?
Yeah.
We had Knox box access.
Yeah, and he testified to emergency services, so that would be a Knox box, I don't know. So like I'm managing
Yeah.
a new association in Denver's where the police they can actually have like a gate. I don't know if it's gonna be electric or what it's gonna be, but whatever access emergency services needs to get in there, it'll either be a Knox box or like they're using U-passes for scanners and stuff like that.
Right.
They actually have for electric gates, I didn't realize this, they have,
Keep on your radio.
no, they have sounders that hear the sirens and open.
Like a, what's the place? in-
Yeah, but I'm like, what if somebody just comes with a thing and opens the
Well,
gate
in Bear's Nest, you can key up your police radio at the gate and it opens
and
up.
it opens it up?
Yeah, I mean, I feel
Pretty cool.
Well,
they have that gate on,
Isn't.
the townhomes, that are on the corner.
On Pulte, right? Oh, Saddle River Grant.
River Grant.
Yeah.
They have a,
David is.
gate for it, from in, just off of it.
Yeah, that opens by motion.
And we did look at it. I like their version of the.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The layer.
Yeah, I was just there, I picked someone up, I dropped someone off,
Okay.
and
So.
I couldn't leave, and then I realized that's the way you leave. So I drove back, I waited, and it opened.
All right, I think we're done. We get a motion to adjourn.
Motion. Minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.